So guys, this tutorial is about how to measure the internet. And it actually for people who know very little about our projects like Atlas, or like RIPE Atlas or RIPE Stat, I'm ask you a question. How many of you actually know what is RIPE Atlas? And who is hosting our probe or anchor? Well, and what are your expectations from this tutorial? Well, let's think about another thing. Who doesn't know what is RIPE Atlas? Perfect, you're my audience. So let's get started. So let's talk about the measurements of the internet. Why do we need to measure the internet? What are the point of measuring the internet? Well, and we're going to talk about something about this, how we can measure the internet, and why to use RIPE Atlas, in which cases, and we're going to have a couple of demos about use cases of RIPE Atlas. For people who actually know what is RIPE Atlas already, but just really want to start using it. So why measure the internet? To troubleshoot it, if you're a network administrator, network operator, probably you may want to know if somebody else is announcing your prefixes, or is my BGP routing consistent with the database? Because somebody can just filter out your prefixes. You need to know if your prefixes, your announcements are consistent with the database. Are my DNS and reverse DNS consistent? You cannot rely, oh well, it's better to rely on your administrators, but if you're just a new person in a company, probably you will need to know how everything's been before you. And was my prefix visible yesterday in Tokyo? Maybe you have a customer who was complaining about issues like this. So you can use RIPE Atlas and see what was going on yesterday. Please don't do this. Thank you. You have a nice melody. And then, to investigate, let's say you are expecting a transfer of IPv4 addresses. Probably you might want to know if somebody else was announcing this prefix before you. Or if you want to sign a contract with somebody, you want to know which peer is better, this one or that one. And you can use RIPE Atlas or RIPE-Stat to check it. And where you can report an abuse for some IP. So the easiest way just to go to the RIPE.net and check it. And test your IPv6 connectivity. So these are the main points how you can investigate using RIPE Atlas. And what can we measure? When you're saying that you want to measure something, what usually the first thing you may think about? Just any ideas? Well, if I was asked about something, can I measure something? I would say I need to know the length of width. And in case of the internet, it's probably how big is the internet? Because everybody is concerned that internet is actually growing very fast. And probably you want to know how actually big is the internet. What can you do? Like, if I was asked this question, I would have just Googled it. Because it's easy. It's one-time measurement. Just ask Google how big is the internet, how many ISS are there. It's easy. And if you want something more custom, unfortunately, Google doesn't help you. Well, unless you are some big provider, maybe Google knows something about you. But if you are not that lucky guy, you need to use some tool. And we have tools like for this. And also how well my assets are incorporated in the internet. The only way how to do this is to use some active measurement tool. Like make some disturbance on the internet and see what happens. So how well my network is incorporated into the internet. I'm not going to talk about this second option. We're not going to learn how to use Google. I hope you know. So in RIPE NCC, we have two big projects. I would say two big projects. One is called RIPE Stat, and the second one is RIPE Atlas. We've been collecting information about BGP announcements since I think it's been going on for more than 15 years already. And we have more than 20 collectors installed on many exchange points all over the internet. So we just passively collect all the BGP announcements and store it in our database. And you can access it. And the good thing is it's free. All you need is just sign up on our website and just do whatever you want. Just use that information in the way you want it to use. On this picture, let's say we have some information going back to 2000, I believe. It was in this picture, 2000. And in this picture, we say that this IS was announcing those prefixes. So we do keep it in our database. But if you want to know how good your assets are incorporated, you need to start something active, like ping something or traceroute something and see the result. For that, you need to use our RIPE Atlas. So what is the RIPE Atlas? Oh, we have a lot of small devices. We call them RIPE probes and RIPE anchors. And a lot of people here, they know what they are. They're actually small devices connected to networks. And we gather all the information from those devices in our database, in our control center, in our database. It's a very simplified scheme of our RIPE Atlas project. But anyway, we have some control center and we have a database. And you can get information from the database using web interface, using API, using command line. And now we have a new project which is called streaming. So you can stream data from our database in real time. And there are right now, more than 10,000 probes all over the world. It's a lot. And there's really small devices. Right now we're using version 4, and these are really tiny devices. And they allow only outgoing connections. So there is no way how you can access it and do something harmful to your network. So they're really passive, and they are allowing only outgoing connections. So you don't need to do anything with your firewall. You just plug it in, and it will start working immediately. Well, you need to register on our website. And you can run ping, traceroute, DNS, SSL, TLS, NTP, and HTTP measurements on those probes. But for people who want more, we have something bigger. Bigger not in terms of physically bigger, but those devices can do more. We call them anchors. Right now, I checked it this morning, we have 444 anchors connected to RIPE Atlas all over the world. And starting quite recently, we have virtual anchors. So before, it used to be a real hardware, like this one on this picture. But right now, you can download and use a virtual anchor. And if you are running an anchor, you can do more. You can create customized measurements. And we're going to talk about this a bit later, but these anchors, they do allow incoming connections, so if you want to use it, you need to make sure that you can do this, because they need to accept incoming connections. And the benefits are that the measurement results from hundreds of other probes toward your anchor. So by default, you will receive all this information without any action from your side. Everything will be there by default. And continual view of the regional reachability from your network. So everything is done automatically, you don't need to do anything. And you will have more credits. And how much of the internet is covered right now? This is the latest, I took it this morning, map of our probes and anchors not connected to RIPE Atlas. So right now we're covering 3,618 IPv6 ASNs, 1,500 IPv6, oh, sorry, it was before, IPv6 ASNs, and we are covering 182 countries all over the world, I would say. And we even have a probe in Antarctica. Yep. So we're covering like almost 100% of countries and around 6% of IPv4 IPS ISNs. So if you don't have any probes in your ISN, please ask us how to get it. And we have Valentina sitting right outside the room. He can give it to you for free. Just talk to him, and we do have probes now here in on this meeting. So it's very easy and it's free for you. You can even connect it to your at home. And who hosts them? What are the reason? Like, if you're just a person, why your family might want to host it, or your friends? You can social media. You can go Twitter and say, hey, I have a probe. Who wants to check my connectivity to the internet? So why not? Everybody is all about social networks now. And people do this. And people write articles, and it's very important for researchers. And if you are a student, it's a very good opportunity for you to do some research, some paper, and publish it on the internet. And we do encourage you to do this. So are they free? Technically, yeah. You cannot pay money. You cannot get more credits and do more measurements. But you need to earn credits. And there are several ways how you to do this. You can become an LIR, the easiest thing. Just become an LIR, and you will be able to claim 1 million credits every month. Unfortunately, only one person from that LIR can claim 1 million. So if one employee claimed this May, nobody will be able to, well, sorry, it's still April. Nobody will be able to claim from the same LIR 1 million within the months. Do you have any questions? So it's easy. You can host a probe, and you will be getting 15 credits per every minute when it is connected. So you cannot just get a probe and put it in your wardrobe and never use it. That's 15 credits when it's connected. If you have an anchor, additionally to those benefits I mentioned before, you'll be getting 150 credits per every minute when it's connected. Or you can run measurements. Every measurement you run can be viewed on our website. So make it public. And for every measurement like this, you'll get some credits because you're doing something useful for the internet, right? And you can become a sponsor. If you want to sponsor somebody, just drop us an email. Everything in our website, just go to the ripe.net, analyze Atlas, and there is an email where you can send a request to become a sponsor. So if you have 1,000 euros, you can sponsor somebody and have your logo listed on our website. And you can become an ambassador. If you like visiting conferences, or you're doing this for your job, or you like meeting people, you like doing something good for the internet, just become an ambassador. And for every probe you distributed, you will be getting some credits to your account. So we do encourage you to become ambassadors. What can you do with 1 million? Like, if you're an LIR, you can claim 1 million credits. But how much is it? Actually, this tutorial is all about this 1 million. Because we are going to do a couple of demos, what you can do with this 1 million. So let's say you can schedule pings from 50 probes worldwide to run every 5 minutes to your networks for 3 weeks. Something like this, so check the connectivity. You can schedule traceroute from 350 probes worldwide to run every 15 minutes for 1 day. It's more expensive. And you can monitor 2 name servers running traceroute from 50 probes every hour for 10 days. It's what you can do for 1 million credit. So this was the theory. Now let's do demos. And for these demos, you will need to use your laptop connected to the internet. Has everybody have? Uh, oh yes, if you know everything about RIPE Atlas, if you've been using it for ages, just let's meet at 2 p.m. when we actually start the meeting. And now let's start the tutorial. Yeah. Who wants to participate in these demos but don't have the internet? I think it's better to move here because we have desks here and it's more comfortable to sit and do something on your laptop. Yeah, you can move here. So what is the first task when you want to start using RIPE Atlas? The task number 1, what you must have. Access account on our website. And who doesn't have it? Just tell me if you're not registered at ripe.net. Well, who has, you're not. Do you have a laptop? Oh, we can do it later. Anyway, all these slides will be uploaded on our website. And so, everybody has an Access account? Yeah. So, demo number 1, check the network reachability. And I will show you how to do this. So I need to go to the ripe.net. But what do you need for RIPE Atlas? If you want to use the RIPE Atlas, you will need credits, right? How can you earn them if you are sitting here? You don't have any probes. You don't want to use your LIR account. How can you get credits? Yeah, so you've done this before. Okay. You know, I'm from uh, training department, and we have a special training about RIPE Stat and RIPE Atlas. Has anybody participated in this training? Cool. So you must know everything. It's good to know. So this is our ripe.net website. You need to log in if you have your Access account. If you don't have it, just register. It's free. And you don't need to be from our region. It can be anybody. So this is my RIPE website. I need to go to RIPE Atlas. And here at the bottom, on the left, there is a section called My Atlas. Very easy, right? And if you click it, the first link is credits. If you click it, you'll be able to redeem a voucher on the right. So click it and say SEE 8 Sarajevo. Just like here. All caps. Rich. You can buy new shoes if you want it. So has everybody redeemed the voucher? What? Yeah, let's wait. So then, if you go to measurements, from the My Voucher, if you click Measurements, Maps, and Tools, you will see all the measurements running right now, which are public. So many. If you click Create Measurement here, you will be able to specify what kind of measurements you want to create. You can ping, trace route, DNS. Let's say ping your network. Then you will be able to specify which probes you want to use. Here at the bottom right now, the default setting is worthwhile 10 probes. But let me tell you something. If you just select just random 10 probes, there is a big chance that they are not connected. Well, 10 is quite a big number, but if you choose 2 or 5, there's a chance that they're not connected. How can you connect only those probes which are connected? Somebody who is actually using Ripe Atlas, do you know the way how you can check that all the probes you are using, they are connected? Well, we have tags. So here, at the upper part, when you specify the measurements option, you need to specify some target. Let's say, I just say a random number. Right. And here there is an option for tags. Here. Every person who is getting a probe or an anchor in the settings on our website can put some kind of tag. Let's say if you have a group of friends or a group of companies and you want to do something, do some measurements among this network of your friends or your companies, you want to just do something. You may ask them to put some custom tag in the settings of their probes. But we have some system tags. And there are a list of different tags. Let me open a different window. Atlas. Here is resources, documentation, and here is a link probe tags. Here. If you click it, you will see That way have some system tags. And let's say if you want to connect to use only probes which are right now visible and they're running IPv4, the tag is system IPv4 works. So just copy it and paste it here. So it's a string, it's not a number, it's a string. And then you can create a measurements. You can schedule it or make it one-time measurement. So for that, you just click it here. And here on the right, here, you will see how much this measurement would cost you. In my case, it's only 60 credits. It's very cheap. Let's run it. So the ping is the cheapest measurements you can run. And create my measurement. Create a new measurement. Oops, no. I'm going to go to my measurements. And here it is, this one. So right now the status is ongoing, so it's not running yet. Yeah. So this is the list of all my measurements. And this is the latest measurements I just created for 888, and it's one off, and the status is still being created. So let's do the demo number one. It's kind of exercise number one. It's check the network reachability. Do you know your IP address or some crucial server in your network? Just use it. So go to the ripe.net measurements, schedule a measurement to ping your network from 10 different probes, from probes which are connected, so use the tag, and run it every 2 minutes, and wait for 15 minutes and see what happens. So let's do it. So guys, it's a tutorial. We're not going to talk now. We're just waiting and let people do the demo. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or my colleagues. Use case 2, check the path between two networks. If you know some network which with which you want to check something, check the connectivity, you can use trace route. So let's create a measurement, not to ping that network, but to trace route. And this measurement is going to be a bit more expensive because actually how much is the measurement depends how much CPU or memory you need to use from those probes and anchors. So let's start another measurement. Just keep the first one running and start another one. So guys, I see that everybody who's doing this workshop, they already created two measurements. Let's create the last one. Check if the name server is responding. Investigate your domain name reachability. So you need to schedule a measurement to monitor your domain name and trace router. And because you are kind of requesting so many things, it's going to be the most expensive measurement for today. So don't run it, don't keep it running. After you finish, just stop it to save some credits for future. So monitor your domain name. I hope you know your domain name or some domain name you want to monitor. Trace route it, and from the, let's say 10 different probes which are connected, and let's run it every 2 minutes. So guys, the last task for today for this tutorial, task 5. Watch the lightning talk tomorrow. So stay here till tomorrow, and tomorrow after 5, there's going to be a lightning talk. And we'll be talking about, it's going to be, I think, IXP Jedi. We have a tool which can show how many routes actually going out from the country. Just stay here till tomorrow evening and attend this lightning talk. Do you have any questions? Anyway, I'm here for the next half an hour. If you have any questions later, please feel free to ask them. So otherwise, that's it. See you later.